about the BIGAM method of LPP. Now your next unit is starting, that is transportation problem. I'm showing you the syllabus of next unit, which starts from the this topic. Please off your mic, please. This. Uh, this is your syllabus. We have completed up to second unit, that is simplex method including BIGAM method. Now your third unit is starting, that is transportation. And in the transportation problem, we will look the northwest corner rule, matrix minima, WAM method, degenerating modification method, and assignment problem. So first we start with the introduction of transportation method. Actually, what is transportation method and how it will be used and how many methods will be applied in this method. So let's start. Here, let us see outline. What we have to see: introduction, solution procedure for transportation problem, and finding an initial feasible solution. Okay, so let us see what is the introduction of transportation. Transportation models deal can be formulated as a standard LPP problem. Typical solution shown in the manufacturer example. Actually, transportation is mostly used in manufacturing industry, where we have to send the our products or items to the market or to the dealer or warehouses. So if we have some factories or plants from where we have to send our product or items. Okay, so this transportation method is used to minimize our transportation cost. Okay, so I told you in the simplex method and LPP that if we are studying about the sales or revenue, then we will maximize it. And if we are finding out the transport cost, then we will minimize it. Cost and time. Cost and time will be minimizing, and profit and revenue will be maximized. So since transportation is our cost, so we will try to minimize our transportation cost by using some methods. Okay. Now, so look at an example here. How can we define the transportation problem? Here, three plants are there. You are seeing three plants. That is P1, P2, and P3. Manufacturer, there is a manufacturer which has three plants. That is P1, P2, and P3. And all the plants have same products. It means all the P1, P2, and P3 producing same products. Okay. Now, from these plants, the product is transported to three warehouse. That is W1, W2, and W3. Look in the figure, that is W1, W2, and W3. These are warehouses where we have to send our products from plant. Now, each plant has a limited capacity. It means when the plant is producing products, it means the plant has a capacity that have to produce at a time, for a particular time. What is the capacity that plant produced? And similarly, the warehouse has also its requirement. It means if a plant produces 50 units, so there is no need that the warehouse also has a requirement of 50 units. If suppose that plant P1 produces 50 units, so the requirement of either W1 or W2 or W3 different from the capacity of the plant P1. It means the W1 has the requirement of 20 units, either 30 units or 40 units or 10 units. Similarly, the W2 warehouse also should have the requirement of 10, 20 or 30. It means the requirement of the warehouse is different from the capacity of the plant. Now, but in each case, the manufacturer tried to minimize his transportation cost. Now, what is written here? Each plant has a limited capacity and each warehouse has specific demand. Means both are the different. If the plant has some capacity, so there is no need that the warehouse also required same requirement according to the capacity of the plant. The warehouse also uh, requirement is different. Now, each plant transport to each warehouse. Now, here we are looking in the figure that P1 sent his product, their product from W1, W2, and W3. Similarly, plant P2 also supply their product to W1, W2, and W3. Similarly, plant P3 also supplied the product warehouse to W1, to warehouse W2, to warehouse W3. Okay, so you are looking that all these plants have uh, to send the product to different warehouses, but in all the cases, manufacturer needs to require minimize his transportation cost. The problem is to determine the quantity each warehouse in order to minimize total transportation cost. It means according to the supply and requirement, the manufacturer tried to minimize his cost. Suppose that if manufacturer has the plant P1 has some capacity and the requirement of W1, W2, W3, that is requirement of warehouses. So plant P1 can send the product to all these product to the warehouses if the transportation cost is minimizes. Now let us see next. Here is an example how we will get the transportation cost and what is the procedure for that. Let us see. Solution procedure for transportation problem. Conceptually, the transportation is similar to simplex method. In the previous lectures, I have also told you that transportation is also special kind of linear programming. So here, conceptually, the transportation is similar to simplex method. Let us see how. In the next slide, I'm showing you this. Look, constants are given here. Constant of supply, that is x11 plus x12 plus x13 plus x14 less than equal to 35. And second constant is given here, third constant. These constants are related to your supply. And in the second point, constant for demand. So there are four constants for demand and three constants for supply. It means these are plants from where we have to supply the product or service, and these are the warehouse where we have to fill the requirement of these warehouses. Okay, so if we are looking that this is the similar to the subject to constant that we have also studied in the simplex method. जो हमने सिंप्लेक्स मेथड में पढ़ रखा है तो उसमें देख रहे हैं कि लगभग उसी के जैसा ही एक्चुअली इक्वल दिख रहा है ये सब्जेक्ट टू कॉन्स्टेंट हमने ऐसे पढ़े हुए हैं ऑलरेडी. So that was I am telling that this is the special kind of simplex method. So here conceptually the transportation is similar to simplex method. Now begin with an initial feasible solution. We have to find the basic initial feasible solution from the given transportation problem. This initial feasible solution may or may not be optimal. The only way you can find it out is to test it. Again, when we were solving the simplex method, we we were trying to get the optimal solution. But when we will solve the transportation problem, first we will find the initial basic feasible solution. And in short, we will also say it, that is IBFS, initial basic feasible solution. And this solution either could be optimal or not optimal. How it will be tested? After applying some test, just like stepping stone or modification method or degeneracy method, we can test that the our solution is optimal or not. Okay, so when we find the initial basic feasible solution, this is not necessary that it is optimal. It could be or not, both. Now, if the solution is not optimal, it is revised and test is repeated. After applying some test, if we find that our solution is not optimal, then we will repeat the test. That is, which optimality test we were applying. So we will repeat and repeat. Each iteration should bring you closer to the optimal solution. As well as we are trying to close the optimal solution. Each solution let us uh, carry to the or closer to the optimal solution. So similarly here, just like in the simplex method, when we were trying to get the optimal solution, we have to make many simplex tables, table 1, table 2, table 3. Why we were creating that? Those because we were trying to get the optimal solution. Similarly, in the transportation problem, we will also try to get the closer to the optimal solution. Similarly, by framing the tables or any other method. In the transportation problem, we will apply some test. In your syllabus, we have only, I think, one test, that is modification method. Let us see. Yeah, we have degenerating and modi method. This is modi means modification method. So we will try to get the optimal solution by applying these tests, and we will apply these tests until unless we get the or optimal solution. Here, look at the white figure that I have selected. There are three plants. Okay, P1, P2, P3, and there is also three warehouses, that is W1, W2, and W3. And most right column, that is this is supply column. Plant capacity of the plant P1, that is 20, and capacity of the plant P2, that is 20, and capacity of the plant 3 is 17. It means plant P produces 20 units. It means it can supply only 20 units. Plant 2 produces 28 units. It means plant 2 can supply 28 units. Plant 3 produces 17 units. It means plant 3 can supply 17 units. Okay. Now, similarly, the requirement of warehouses, the requirement of warehouse W1, that is 21, and the requirement of warehouse W2, that is 25, and the requirement of warehouse 3, that is 19. So warehouse W1 required 21 units, warehouse secondary required 25 units, warehouse 3 requires 19 units. And these are the supply of plants. Now, let us check either supply and requirements are equal or not. So let us see. See, 20 plus 28 plus 17. We can add it in this 20, 28, and 17. How much it? Auto sum. That is, sorry, this is 17. Then this is 65. The sum is 65. Okay. It means all the three plants produces 65 units. Yes. Now, let us see the requirement of all the warehouses. Requirement of warehouse 1, 21, warehouse required 2, 25 and 19. So 21, 25 and 19. 21, 25 and 19. Let us see how much they required. This is also 65. So let's see it. The requirement and production is same. The way the problem is like this means the supply and requirement, that is demand, is equal, then we will call this is our balanced transportation problem. Okay, when the supply and requirement is equal, then we will call this is our balanced transportation problem. Okay, now solution procedure for transportation problem. Anything is left here? No. Solution procedure for transportation problem. The format followed in the above table will be used throughout the unit. One thing more. In this, these are the capacity. Most below row, that is 21, 25, 19 and 65. This is requirement. Okay, and the most right column, that is 20, 28 and 17, this is supply. These are the units of the items or product produced, and these are the requirements. And what about these 7, 6, 9, 5, 7, 3, 4, 5 and 4, 5, 8? These are the per unit cost. These are the per unit cost which have to use to send the item from plant to warehouses. Suppose that if you have to send the product from plant 2 to plant W3, then per unit cost will be 3 this. Okay, and according to the unit, that means suppose that plant P2 send 19 units to the warehouse 3. Okay, so what will be its cost? 19 into 3, that is 57. So these are the unit cost. These are the per unit cost of the transportation, and these unit cost will be used to find our initial basic feasible solution or initial feasible solution. So how will it be solved? So look at this. Solution procedure for transportation problem. The format followed in the above table will be used throughout the unit. Each row corresponds to a specific plant and each column corresponds to a specific warehouse. Look at here. Yeah. This P1 is specific plant. It means this is your factory, or this is the place from where you will supply your product. In the case of this figure, P1 is your plant P where you produce 20 units. Okay, so each row corresponds to a plant or your factory from where you produce your item or product. Now, and each column corresponds to a specific warehouse. Let us see each warehouse. Okay, W1, W2, W3. These columns are your warehouses. Here, the W1 is warehouse which requirements 20 units of the product, and this second column is, that is warehouse 2, required 25 units of the products, and W3 is the warehouse where the requirement of product is 19 units. So each row corresponds to a plant and each column corresponds to a specific warehouse. Now, second, plant supplies are shown to the right of the table and warehouse requirements are shown below the table. Plant supplies, it means the maximum capacity of the plant shown in the rightmost column. This, okay, 20, 28, 17. It means this is the maximum capacity that plant can be produced. The maximum capacity of the plant P1 is 20 units. The maximum capacity of the plant P2 is 28. And the maximum capacity of the plant P3 is 17. These are the units which all the plants produce, that is 65. Total capacity of the all the plants are 65. It means all the plants manufacture 65 units of the any product. And also requirement of the all the warehouses is also 65 year according to the our table. Now, next, the larger box, also known as cell, at the intersection of a specific row and column will contain both quantity to be transported and per unit transportation cost. Now, look here, intersection of the row and column, that is also called cell. This one, 7, first this section, okay, only this right most top corner, okay, this cell is your carried your per unit cost. In the case of plant P1, first cell had 7, so it means 7 is the your cost of per unit. When you send 1 unit to the warehouse 1, the cost will be 7, 7 rupees or 7 anything that unit you will be used. So 7 is the your per unit transportation cost. Suppose that you have to send the 20 units in the warehouse W1 from the P1. So what will be the total cost? So 20 into 70. Okay. So when the warehouse required 20 units, the cost will be 140. 7 into 20, that is the cost will be 140, 140. Similarly, if you send the 17 units to the warehouse W2 from the plant 3 here, okay, plant W2 requires 17 units and require 25 units, but the plant P3 has only capacity of 17. Okay, so let us see, we will also solve this example in the next. Now, so these cells carried per unit transportation cost, which is written here. What? The larger box, also known as cells, at the intersection of a specific row and column will contain both quantity to be transported and per unit transportation cost. Here I've shown you only per unit transportation cost, but there is no transported unit. Transported unit is not shown in this figure. We will see it later. Now, we will represent both the quantities in same cell. Now, the quantity to be transported will be shown in the center of the box and will be encircled. Encircled means, suppose that, let us I show you something. Uh, what we have to do, let us insert a table. This this is a table where I'm not writing the remaining things. I'm writing down only per unit cost and where we have to present our transported unit and per unit cost. So suppose that here written 3, 7 and 5. Next 4, 6, 8, mm, 8. Now 7, 4, and 9. These are the transportation cost. Okay, so these are the per unit transportation cost. Here is also here should be also column in the rightmost, and there should be also row in the bottom. So I have write down only per unit cost. What will have to do? This is your per unit cost, and when we will transport the unit, so we will write down either in circle or in the next in the rightmost corner. So let us insert a circle. Mm, insert a circle, just like this. We will insert a circle and we will write the transported unit within the circle. Okay, or you can also write it here in the topmost corner or bottommost corner where you want. Okay, so you will let us increase the size. This, okay, this is our now you can write like this. This is your per unit transportation cost, and the unit that you will transport we will write in the within the circle here. So let's write down something. This is not showing because this is figure. So you will write the transported unit within the circle. So this is the written here. The quantity to be transported will be shown in the center of the box and will be encircled, and the per unit transportation code is shown in the smaller rectangular box at the left hand side corner. Let us see an example. Look at this. This here 7 is your per unit cost, and the transported unit is 20. In this figure that we were looking in here, the quantity will be transported will be shown in the center of the box and be encircled, and the per unit transportation cost is shown in the smaller rectangular box at the left hand side corner. So in this figure, this is your within the circle which is representing, this is your transported unit, and this 7 is your per unit cost. You can change also. It means the you can write this circle either this corner or this corner or this corner. You can write anywhere. Okay, but this transported unit should be different from the your per unit cost. Okay, so you can write any type, but it should be different from the per unit cost. So next, now this is the procedure for your solving the transportation problem. Now, how many types for to solve the transportation problem? So there are so many methods to solve the transportation problem, but here we will study only three methods. That is northwest corner rule, least cost method, and WAM method, that is Wobble approximation method. Now, finding an initial feasible solution. There are a number of methods for generating an initial feasible solution for a transportation problem. Consider three of the following. We have to consider only three. And which are these? These are, the first one is northwest corner method, NWCM. And this is also called NWCR, northwest corner rule. And the second one is least cost method. This is also called minimum maximum. And Vogel's approximation method, that is WAM method. So in this by these three methods, we will find the our initial feasible solution. So let us see first. First method is NWCR method. This is the easiest way to solve the initial basic feasible solution. You can apply any of these, but according to the situation. First of all, if you have any example or any question, so you will try to find the uh, basic feasible solution by all these three methods, and observe that which method is gives you best feasible solution, means by which method your cost is minimum. Suppose that you have an example that is this. Okay, this is your method, and by applying all these three methods, by applying all these three methods, you will observe that which method gives you minimum transportation cost. It would be either NWCM or LCM or WEM. Okay, so you have to apply all these three methods in single example. एक ही एग्जाम्पल में आपको ये तीनों मेथड अप्लाई करने हैं, एंड यू विल ऑब्जर्व दैट विच मेथड गिव्स यू मिनिमम ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट. ओके, तो एक बार जब आप ये चेक कर लेंगे, आफ्टर चेकिंग वंस, when you will find the optimal solution by applying either modification method or stepping stone method, then you will apply that method. From these three, that method you will apply to get optimal t test which gives you minimum transportation cost. जब आप ऑप्टिमिटी टेस्ट करेंगे तो इन तीनों में से एक ही एग्जांपल में पहले से इन तीनों को लगाइए, फिर उसमें से देखिएगा. अभी की पहले एक बार आप निकाल लेंगे तो आपको अंदाजा लग जाएगा. जब कभी भी ऑप्टिमिटी टेस्ट करनी होगी तो फिर ये नहीं पूछेंगे कि सर इसमें NWCM लगाना है, LCM लगाना है या WAM लगाना है. व्हाट यू हैव टू डू, एक बार पहले एक ही एग्जांपल में लगा लेंगे तो आपको पता चल जाएगा कि बाय व्हिच मेथड योर ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट इज मिनिमम. So in the optimality test, you will apply only that method. Books में आपके कोई भी method दे सकता है. When you will test the optimality in different number of books, there is so many methods are applied. But when you will solve the example in your examination, you will mostly try to find the optimality test by applying by getting the IBFS वोगल अप्रोक्सी मेथड. जहां तक हमारा वो अनुमान है कि ये वैम मेथड से ही ट्रांसपोर्टेशन जो आईबीएफएस बेसिक फिजिबल सॉल्यूशन होता है वो मिनिमम आता है. तो आप यही लगाने की कोशिश कीजिएगा, लेकिन एक बार फिर भी आप अपने एग्जाम्पल में जरूर इसको अप्लाई करके फिर ऑप्टिमलिटी टेस्ट को अप्लाई कीजिएगा. ओके, नाउ लेट अस सी नॉर्थ वेस्ट कॉर्नर रूल. हाउ वी विल इट सॉल्व, हम इसको सॉल्व कैसे करेंगे. The simplest of the procedure used to generate an initial feasible solution in NWCM. It is so called because we begin with the northwest or upper left corner cell of our transportation table. Various steps of this method can be summarized as under. Okay. Now, ये क्या है कि इसमें this is the simplest method. ये हमारा सबसे सिंपल है. So let us, I am trying to write it in the simplex and I will try to get its solution. For example, okay, so here let's take this example. 769 573 769 5 7 and 3. Okay, next row, that is 4 5 8 4 5 and 8. This is your per unit cost, and capacity of the plant is 20 28 17 20 28 and 17. And what is the requirement of warehouses? It is 21 25 19 21 25 and 19. Let us increase its size. This is your table. Okay, now total of the capacity and requirement is 65. This is your total capacity and total requirement, 65. Okay, let us it color this. This is your total. Now, according to the northwest corner rule, let us see what it says. And WCR says, select the northwest or upper left hand corner cell of the transportation table and allocate as many units as possible equal to the minimum between available supply and demand requirement, that is minimum S1 D1. Let us see here. This is a table, and topmost left corner, that is 7. It means we have to allocate here according to by which, according to the minimum from the capacity and requirement. We will see both, either capacity is minimum or requirement is minimum. Here the capacity of plant P1, write down here, P1, P2 and P3. Okay? And this is the demand. And write down here, this is the W1, W2 and W3, and this is the capacity, that is supply S. Okay, we will increase the size. This, write down like this. Okay. Okay, so we have to allocate this cell. It means to send the from plant P1 to W1, per unit cost is 7, and the total capacity of the plant P1 is 20, but the requirement of warehouse is 21. So it means we can supply only 20 units to warehouse V1. Okay, we can supply only 20 units. 20 units. It means we have to write down here. We have to insert a circle. देखते हैं इसमें लिख पाता है कि नहीं. इसके अंदर लिख जाएगा 21. हाँ, लिख गया. ठीक. थोड़ा सा और बड़ा, थोड़ा सा और बड़ा. ये 21 हमने, सॉरी 20 हमने इसको यहाँ एलोकेट कर दिए. लेटेस्ट इसको थोड़ा और बड़ा कर लेते हैं ताकि जिससे हमें लिखने में आसानी रहे. इतना बड़ा कुछ ज़्यादा ही वो हो रहा है. इसको ऐसे कर लिया, इसको ऐसे, this, 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 okay, and this. हमने इस तरह से इसको लिख दिया, और मैंने इसको थोड़ा सा और ये, लेट अस सी. अब मैंने इसको ये बड़ा कर लिया है, और इसको इसका साइज थोड़ा सा और बड़ा हो जाए. तो लिखा है, चलिए दिख रहा होगा, ये मैंने 20 एलोकेट कर दिया। ठीक, नाउ according to our condition, the this plant P1 has sent all the item to warehouse V1। इसने अपनी सारी कैपेसिटी इसको वो कर दिया। तो अब हम यहां से जो प्लांट P1 की जो प्रोडक्शन था हमने उसको कर दिया खत्म। वी हैव कैंसिल इट, मैंने इसको काट दिया। ठीक, मैंने ये कैंसिल कर दिया। बट द वेयर हाउस रिक्वायर ओनली 1 यूनिट मोर, अभी इसकी 1 यूनिट और बाकी है। ठीक, तो मैं इसको कट करूंगा, लेकिन अभी एक में इसको, अरे इसमें से 1 यूनिट की अभी और कैपेसिटी वो रिक्वायरमेंट बची हुई है। ये मैंने इसको कट किया और यहां पर मैंने नीचे लिख दिया 1। ठीक, ये मैंने यहां पर 1 की रिक्वायरमेंट लिख दी। ठीक, नाउ अब आगे चलेंगे हम, लेट्स मूव फॉरवर्ड हियर। इस प्लांट में देखिएगा, इस प्लांट की सारी कैपेसिटी हमने दे दी है। तो अगर इफ वी वर ट्राइंग टू एलोकेट वेयर हाउस P2 W2, so we don't have any product for W2 and W3, we don't have any product for the in the plant P1। इस W2 के लिए हमारे पास प्लांट P1 में कोई भी प्रोडक्ट नहीं है, बिकॉज वी हैव ऑलरेडी एलोकेटेड आवर मैक्सिमम कैपेसिटी टू द वेयर हाउस 1, दैट वाज 20 यूनिट्स। हमने यहाँ पर इसको 20 यूनिट्स ऑलरेडी दे रखा है। तो 6 9, अब हम यहाँ पर किसी को ना तो W2 को दे सकते हैं ना इधर W3। व्हाट वी हैव टू डू नेक्स्ट, वी विल कम टू द प्लांट P1 P2 according to the condition। In the plant P2, the capacity is 28, but the W1 requires only 1 unit. The W1 require only 1 unit, and the plant P2 has capacity of 1 unit. So we will write down here 1. Okay, we will write down here 1. So from where we have get it, W1 from where is getting? From the plant P2. So after giving 1 unit, how many units will be left in the plant P2? That is 27, because 1 unit it supplies to the warehouse VW1. So how many left here? 27. Okay, this 27 is left. Now requirement of W1 has been fulfilled. Requirement of W1 has been fulfilled, so we will also cancel out this one. Okay, now again go ahead. W2 required 25 units, but the plant P2 has capacity of 27 units. So how much we can allocate here? That is 25. So we will allocate to W2, that is 25. 25. Write down here 25. So the requirement of W2 has been fulfilled. The requirement of W2 is completed now. So we will cross the requirement of W2, that was 25. We have cancelled out this. Okay, but plant P2 has supplied 25 and it was have 27 units and it has given only 25 units. So how many units the plant P2 has left? That is 2 units. Okay, so 2 units are left with plant P2. Okay, now next come to the here. Requirement of W3 is 19 units, but plant 2 has only 2 units. So we will allocate it only 2 units. Only 2 units. Okay. We have allocated it 2 units. This. Now, but the warehouse also required still 17 units. After completing this, uh, we will cancel out 19, and the requirement of this W3 is 17 units. Okay, and this has fulfilled complete. We will cancel all the capacity of the plant P2. Now, only 17 units required to the W3. Now, from the plant, look at the plant 3. Plant P3 has 17 units, but W1 does not require any unit. W2 required any unit? No, it does not require any unit. W3 required 17 units? Yes, it requires 17 units, and also plant 3 has 17 units capacity. So we will give it complete 17 units to the W3 from the 17 units. Okay, so these are the allocation which minimize your transportation cost. Either we can say that this is our initial feasible solution. Now, according to the condition, let us see. I think you have got these points. Now I am showing it this figure in the this diagram. Look at here. According to that condition, plant P1 supplies 20 units to the warehouse W1. And plant P2 supplies warehouse W1 to 1 unit and 25 units to W2. Add 2 units to W3. Plant P2 has 27 units. The capacity of plant P2 was 27 units, and it supplies to all 3 warehouses. How much quantity? 1 unit to the warehouse W1, 25 units to the W2 warehouse, and 2 units to the W3 warehouse. And plant P3 supplies 17 units to the W3. Okay, so I think you have got all these allocation. So now we will try to minimize our cost. So to get initial feasible solutions, what is our total transportation cost? Let us see. This was the this was your northwest corner rule method. The simplest of the procedure used to generate an initial feasible solution is NWCM. So select the northwest upper left hand corner cell of the transportation table and allocate as many units as possible equal to the minimum between available supply and demand requirement. It means we have to allocate that unit which is minimum between the demand and supply. Look at here. Here, supply was 20 and demand was 21. So which one is minimum? That is 20. So we have allocate 20. Again, now the capacity of plant P2 has been over. So let's roll down to the W2, W3, and again here in the second row, the requirement of W1 is 1 unit, and the capacity of plant P2 are 20 units. So between the 1 and 21, which one is minimum? That is 1. So we will allocate 1 in the W1. Okay. So the requirement of W1 will be over. Next, again, here the unit left with plant P2 that was 27, and the requirement was W2 that was 25. So between the 27 and 25, which one minimum? That is 25. So we will allocate 25. How many units left with the plant P2? that is 2. Okay, so in the next warehouse, W3 requires 17 units, but the capacity of plant P2 was 2. So which one is the minimum between the 2 and 17? 2. So we will allocate 2 here. Now, the requirement of W1 over the requirement of W2 over, and W3 requires now 17 units, and the supply is also plant P3 is 17 units. We will allocate 17 units to the W3. Now look at here. Select the northwest corner upper left hand corner cell of the transportation table and allocate as many units as possible equal to the minimum between available supply and demand requirement, that is minimum S1 D1. So we have allocate this. Now again, adjust the supply and demand numbers in the respective rows and column allocation. Adjustment means we have written down here. Here, one unit is left. There, we have over this capacity. Okay. So this is the adjustment. Again, if the supply for the first row is exhausted, then move down to the first cell in the second row. So here, let us see in the example. The supply is over, so we will move to the second row. Similarly, if the capacity was the requirement was, if the requirement will be over, then we will move to the next column, means for W2. Okay. Now if the supply for the first row is exhausted, then move down to the first cell in the second row and first column and go to step 2. Again, if the demand for the first column is satisfied, then move horizontally to the next cell in the second column and first row and go to step 2. It means that we have done in this process. Okay. As well as your allocation is completed and either supply or demand is exhausted, you have to move ahead. Now, if for any cell supply equals demand, then the next allocation can be made in cell either in the next row or column. That I have already done. Continue the procedure until the total available quantity ID fully allocated to the cells as required. So in this example, we have seen that all the capacities and requirements are fulfilled, means supply and demand are equal. So we have allocated all the units to the according to our supply. So this is your NWCR. Now, what is the your initial feasible solution? The remark one is the quantities so allocated are circled to indicated the value of the corresponding variable. Okay, the quantities so allocated are circled, that I have made circled here. These are the quantities that are allocated to the warehouses from the different plants. These are the circles. Now, empty cell indicates the value of the corresponding variable as 0, that is no unit is subject to this cell. It means these are the empty cells. So no value is allocated to these cells. Okay. Now, as stated in this method, we start with the cell P1W1. Which one is P1W1? That is first one. This is P1W1. This is P1W2. This is P1W3. P2W1. P2W2. P2W3. P3W1. P3W2. P3W3. Okay. So these are the allocation. Now P1 and W1 and allocate the minimum S1 D1, that is minimum 20 and 21. Between the 20 and 21, 20 was minimum. Therefore, we allocate 20 units this cell which completely exhausts the supply of plant P1 and leaves a balance of 21 minus 20, that is 1 unit of demand at warehouse W1. That is written here. देखिए यहाँ पर ये पूरी एग्जॉस्ट हो गई और ये 21 माइनस 20 दैट इज 1. ये मैंने यहाँ पर इसको ये लिख दिया था. ओके. now we move vertically downward to cell. This is the completely written all these things that I have told you in the this procedure. This is completely written down here. P2 27 and 25 units. all the process is written here. Now, in the last, when you will allocate all the units to the different cells, so we will find the initial feasible solution. How? The unit that will be allocated will be multiplied by per unit cost. So look at here. Per unit cost is 77 and unit allocated is 20. So 20 into 7. Look at here. 20 into 7 plus next 1 unit is allocated to this and cost is 5. So 1 into 5. This is 1 into 5. Similarly, plus 25 into 7 plus 2 into 3 plus 17 into 8. Uh, 17 into 8. This is mistake. This 17 into 8. So after calculation, the total cost will be 462 rupees. 462 rupees. So this is our initial feasible solution by NWCM method. Okay, so this is all about the transportation method and NWCR method. So